Hello, good morning, and welcome to Ben Shatliff on Sunday. Today is Sunday, November 19th, 2023. In a few moments, we'll be looking at the latest news which is affecting around the world. And the big talking point today is the changes in the cabinet with the return of the prodigal father, maybe the first prime minister of this current government. But before all that, let's just take a look through the Bible and just see exactly what comes this way. I'm going to go to a different point of the Bible this week, see exactly where we are. And it's Lamentations this week. And let's just go to this part here. Grant is your faithfulness. I am a man who has seen affliction under the rod of his wrath. He has driven and brought me into darkness without any light. Surely against me he turns his hand again and again the whole day long. He has made me my flesh and skin waste away. He has broken my bones. He has besieged and enveloped me with bitterness and tribulation. He has made me dwell in darkness like the dead of long ago. As I've mentioned before, I don't plan what I'm actually going to read here from the Bible. I just literally read that out. But it's very, very interesting there, especially that last part there. He has made me dwell in darkness like the dead of long ago. Whenever you read a piece of scripture, you can always think about relevance about what's happening in your own life or what's happening around at the moment. But it is very, very interesting, especially that specific part there. Dead, darkness of long ago. Let's take a look at the headlines which are making the news this Sunday morning. And the Chancellor, Jeremy Hunt, who was on the Sky News programme earlier on, he's addressed reports of possible tax cuts as he prepares to deliver his autumn statement in the House of Commons, which takes place this Wednesday. The tax burden is too high, he told Sky News. Everything is on the table for the autumn statement. Some protests have crossed the line into intimidation. And also in regards to Rwanda, probably dead, says the former Supreme Court judge. We'll discuss more on politics in a few moments' time. But Jeremy Hunt has told Sky News that he does want lower tax ahead of the autumn statement, or lower tax burden. So let's see exactly what happens there. We've only got 3 days to wait until then. The annual mad scramble for Glastonbury tickets is upon us. I'm going to say some nice news. Standard weekend tickets for Glastonbury will go on sale at 9 a.m. this morning after the initial early November sale dates were pushed back due to some confusion over the registration process. So Glastonbury already. Okay, we've got muddy autumn weather, muddy summer Glastonbury. The SpaceX has lost contact with its Starship mega rocket following explosions during its second test flight from South Texas. This happened yesterday. The two-stage 397-foot rocket, the largest and most powerful ever built, arced out over the Gulf of Mexico after blasting off from the Elon Musk-owned company's launch site near Boca Chica. I wonder if that was maybe in response to some of the things that Elon Musk has been accused of over recent days. And I'm just commenting there rather than saying anything, just in case Mr. Musk decides he wants to try and bring this YouTube channel down. And while we speak about some of the more light-hearted stuff like we've mentioned there about Glastonbury. There are tragedies going on around the world. The war in Ukraine is still ongoing, with attacks that took place in Kyiv just a week ago. There's attacks taking place on a daily basis all around Ukraine. The attacks that took place in Kyiv a week ago last Saturday were the first in a few weeks to hit the capital city itself. But the war on Ukraine is still happening every day of the week, and it is not making the news headlines the way in which it was doing back in February 2022, and even up until just a few months ago, we're still getting some news from Ukraine. The war is still going on. It must not be forgotten, and our thoughts and prayers are with the people of Ukraine for peace, stability, and freedom to happen now, not tomorrow, but now. A French senator is being investigated over allegations he drugged an MP with the intention of sexually abusing her. Joel Garofia is a member of the Conservative Renaissance Party, which is part of President Emmanuel Macron's ruling coalition government. The 66-year-old has been accused of drugging Sandrine Josso, age 48, who is from the centrist Modern Party. And the inventor, Sir James Dyson, has donated £35 million to his old school in Norfolk. This is a nice, happy story to end on. The money will fund the purchase and restoration of Holt Hall near Grecian School, where Sir James boarded from the age of 9. Set in 85 acres, Holt Hall will house state-of-the-art facilities for pupils aged 7 to 13. And a new prep school is due to open in September 2026. It's nice when people who've made a success of themselves and also others decide then to go back to somewhere that's helped them get that success and actually give some money like what's been done there. So very, very well done there for what's to the inventor, because he's now invented good things and happiness for the pupils at his old school. So well done, Sir James Dyson. Now, I wasn't on last Sunday, unfortunately, with it being Remembrance Sunday as well. I was unable to go to the cenotaph. I was also unable to attend Manchester Stands for Ukraine, our rally, which we hold every Saturday in Manchester, due to health reasons once again, unfortunately. But thankfully, feeling much better, and over the last week I've had plenty of fresh air as well as being back at work and doing normal things this weekend as well, thankfully. And the reason why I'm here this morning slightly earlier than normal is because I went to Mass last night, so it gave me a little bit more time for just a bit of R&R, as they say, this morning. So unfortunately I was unable to present Ben Shatliff on Sunday last week, when I would have been dedicating the programme to Remembrance Sunday and speaking about our fallen heroes, both past and present, who do everything that they can to protect the country, but also, of course, with what's happening in Ukraine and Israel and Palestine and other parts of the world. Of course, our thoughts are for eternal peace all over the world, which is exactly what is needed. In the run-up to Remembrance Weekend, the former Home Secretary Suella Braverman had made comments, and then there was a reshuffle of the cabinet. She was sacked on Monday morning, and in came a former Prime Minister. When I used the term earlier on about the prodigal father, I'm of course referring to now Lord David Cameron, who is now the new Foreign Secretary of Great Britain. His Majesty's government. Goodness gracious, I need to get my bang on the head. Maybe it's something more. Anyway, but on a serious note, just forgetting to try and get back to focus. But His Majesty's government, now the Foreign Secretary, Lord David Cameron. I said a prodigal father because, of course, he was the first Prime Minister when the Conservatives under the coalition government took hold of the country back in 2010 after they won, but not with an outright majority. So if you think about it now, the Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, has Jeremy Hunt, who initially was the Health Secretary under the David Cameron-led coalition back in 2010, and he's also got David Cameron. I'll just say David Cameron, it's easier rather than keep saying the various different titles here. But he's now got David Cameron as well back in the cabinet. So therefore, is this a situation of a government when they are about to potentially lose an election? You've got some of the big guns in there just at the end. That happened in 2008 when Peter Mandelson also got a position in the House of Lords and then came in as the business secretary. Now, some would say, is this signs of desperation? But could you look at it in another way? Get the big guns, get the strong people in to try and help that government to be very, very successful. Now, back in 2008, when I was a member of the Labour Party, I was also a very strong activist. I was a candidate and a whole variety of various different stuff. I personally, but then again, you could say, yes, he would think that because he was involved, wanted the outcome to be a Labour general election win. But I personally thought those green shoots of the recovery from the financial crisis were actually starting to make some kind of fruition. And I thought that having Lord Mandelson in the cabinet as the business secretary was actually a very good move on the Prime Minister Gordon Brown. I'm going to say the same thing now in relation, and this is going to be purely said in a kind of like an impartial move, impartial process from what I'm saying here. But I think having a strong person that was once a Prime Minister in a government is not necessarily a bad idea. And it could be a way of like showing some strength before that general election. We'll have to wait and see whether or not that does or does not work. Time, of course, will tell. The general election now rumoured to be at Halloween of next year, so it'll be on Thursday, October 31st, 2024. Instead of people going out trick-or-treating, you'll get the politicians knocking on the door. Some might say they prefer the trick-or-treaters. But anyway, we'll soon find out exactly what happens. But the fact is, though, nobody, regardless of whatever political side, it's a strong move for a Prime Minister to bring back a former Prime Minister into the cabinet. So time will tell, and we'll see what happens there. In terms of what the former Home Secretary Sarah Braverman said, now whether or not you think she was right or whether or not she was wrong for what she was actually saying, the various different things that she said in the run-up to her sacking, one thing that did happen as a result of one of the things that she said, and that was that the far right then came down to the Cenotaph in London and caused problems last Saturday on Armistice Day. So was it a situation where the former Home Secretary was actually inciting a situation which was causing a further problem along the line? Of course, again, I'm not giving an opinion on that, I'm just making note of certain things there from what actually happened last week. It's going to be interesting times over the next 12 months without any shadow of a doubt, because there'll be elections both here in the United Kingdom. There will also be elections in America as well. So it could be the case of, will it be Joe Biden, as most likely to be, although there's a bit of one thinking as if he may still not run for president, although I did think he'd already said he was going to run for president. And then, of course, we've got or will it be Donald Trump? So things are going to be interesting in the world of politics. And here on Ben Shatliff on Sunday, we'll have guests from the world of politics and all other fields as well as we get ready for those elections. And of course, we've got the local elections taking place in May of next year, plus the mayoral elections as well. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world of politics, but we'll also try and have some other stuff on Ben Shatliff on Sunday as well, so they're not necessarily try and have a little bit of something like a refresh of different things as well. I just wanted to speak there in terms of the cabinet and various different things that's going on there. But of course, there's also been rebellion in the Labour Party as well over Sir Keir Starmer's stance in relation to not actually saying that they want to call for a ceasefire in Gaza and Israel in terms of what has been happening there. I'm not going to give an opinion as to what's happening in the Middle East. I just hope there is peace and stability for everybody, because this is something which is very, very upsetting when you see people on all sides who are being killed, especially when you see what we always say as the young. I'm going to, in fact, no, I'm not going to use the term. I was going to say there, because even though talking as a Christian perspective, it could be seen as the wrong way, but I was just thinking about the fact of what happened when Jesus was born, and then when he said about the holy innocence, but we've got now here the decent innocence of young children who are being killed in Palestine, decent innocence of young children that are being killed in Israel as well. So, whichever way you look at the various different, whichever way you look at the situation, genuine, decent, innocent people get killed. And something that happens all over. It happened in the Second World War as well. We were responsible, the Allies, for dropping bombs in Germany, and the atomic bomb in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And people will say, right, were we right, were we wrong for doing those things again? I'm not going to get an opinion now. I'm just trying to looking across a whole broad field in regards to things. I want peace for everybody in this world, and I'm sure 99% of the world want to have peace, stability, and freedom for everybody, which is exactly as it should be. Right, well, that is it from Ben Shatliff on Sunday for this week. I will be back next week, and I will see you then. But just before then, I will leave you with something which I always think is a nice, beautiful hymn, which has become our unofficial anthem, Holy is Your Name. Until next week, take care, God bless, and keep safe. Goodbye.
My soul is filled with joy as I sing to God, my Savior. You have looked upon your servant. You have visited your people, and holy is your name through all generations. Everlasting is your mercy to the people you have chosen, and holy is your name. I am lowly as a child.